2,400 points, battle line. This is the army setup for Demons of Chaos. It's a mono Khorne army. For core, I have 40 bloodletters in a horde. And then for special, I have 2x3 blood crushers with musician in both units. And then 2x5 fleshhounds of Khorne, no ambushers. And then for rare, 1 skull cannon of Khorne. The heroes and lords, I have Karanak as a hero choice and 1 herald with Exalted Locust of Wrath, and he's also the BSB. And for lord choice, there is a Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster.
My 2,400 points of Empire, and for lords I have an Archlector on a war altar with the armor of meteoric iron. I have 1 Battle Wizard, Lord of Shadow, level 4, with the spell scroll and Talisman of Preservation. And I have 1 level 2 with Lore of Life, with Scepter of Stability. I have a BSB with the White Cloak of Ulrich. And I have 2 Warrior Priests, just with the one is just regular with the heavy shield, and the other is with the enchanted shield. And for core, I have 40 halberdiers with a detachment of 20 spearmen, and I have 40 spearmen. And for special, I have 33 greater swordsmen with the banner of eternal flame, and I have 1 greater cannon. And for rare, I have a Hellblaster with an engineer, and I have 1 steam tank. Yeah, that's my 2,400 points of Empire. It is proxy spearman, just so you know. So this is not greater swordsman. Spells for my level 2 and Lore of Life, I rolled Earthblood and Regrowth. And for my level 4 Shadow, and the Enfembling Foe, Okka's Mindracer, Melkot's Mystifying Miasma, and the Withering. On Empire, I tried to cast, so I got 4 steam points and I succeed. And I just ramp it up a little bit. I had to reform to this side so I can take this horde on this left flank. It's pretty annoying, but yes. Magic, turn 1, I managed to get Mystifying Miasma on the skull crushers, and they got 1 less movement. And for shooting, that was it for the magic. I had lots of dices but less spells to cast. I tried to snipe with my steam tank on the I don't know what it's called, skull cannon, but I missed it. But I hit it with my greater cannon, so quite lucky there. Yes, and over, it's dead. And it's dead. Yes.
Demons movement phase, turn 1. Hounds marched up, followed by the blood crushers. And on the other side, everything moved up. The bloodthirster is taking some cover behind the building. And that's it. Since I have no magician in the army, the Winds of Magic is merely for the Reign of Chaos. We got 9 and Khorne's Wrath Missed on everything except the cannon, but it scattered to the spearmen or halberdiers.
Halberdiers.
Halberdiers, yes. And killed 3 of them.
Empire movement. I turned this spearman around just to face this little kitty cats, and I managed to get a little bit forward here just to meet this crusher, demon crusher or something, what they call. And I moved up the steam tank here. Yes, head over to shoot and magic phase. Magic phase and shooting phase Empire. I managed to cast mystifying miasma on his blood. What is it called?
Thirster.
Bloodthirster, and it reduces movement by 3. And I managed to get the warrior priest spell off that I get 5 up ward save, and they can also reroll to wound. Nothing else happened in the magic phase, and to the shooting phase, I tried to hit this cav here with my hell blaster. I did 6 hits, but I didn't manage to wound anyone. So that was Empire turn 2. Head over to the demon.
Demons turn 2, movement phase. Charges. The blood crushers moved in and charged the halberdiers. And on the left flank, 1 unit of the hounds charged the spearmen. The rest of the demons moved up along the flanks. And the bloodthirster is just hiding for now. Winds of Magic. The demons, or I, rolled a 12. Which meant summon from beyond, and then another 12, so 15 plague bearers.
Double sixes, then double sixes again, just for Jacob.
So they 15 plague bearers entered the fray just behind the cannons, and that's it. So now we move on to close combat. End of close combat. The blood crushers were wiped. They managed to do 1 wound towards the BSB and killed 2 halberdiers, and then on the other side, the Flesh Hounds killed 4 and received 1 wound back, but they were they passed the leadership test.
Empire. I managed to generate 4 steam points to my. I tried to generate 4 steam points with my steam tank, but I got the misfire, and yeah, it resulted that I got 2 steam points because of the misfire. So I got quite lucky, and I roll 11, so I got very lucky to come into this unit here, so it shouldn't rape me all over. And I had no other moves, just this detachment unit faced up, so it can counter charge. Oh, and I moved my Archlector into the position to try to snipe this, but my steam tank come in. So yes, over to magic and shooting. Magic and shooting phase, Empire. I got 11 dice, but I only managed to get Earthblood on my Greatest Swordsman unit. I'm afraid he's beating over there. It's going to charge. So, and everything was failed. I managed to get Okka's Mind Racer, but he dispelled it with 3 dice, double sixes again. So, and for shooting, I shot with the Hellblaster and cannon on this unit. I only killed 2. Into close combat. Close combat, steam tank managed to kill 5 of them. He managed to succeed his leadership, so he didn't crumble. He crumbled 1, yes, sorry. And this combat here, the spearman into his dogs. I only won the combat by 1, so he crumbled just 1.
Demons turn 3, movement phase. The Bloodletters charged the Halberdiers and got in. The Bloodthirster charged into this unit and just managed to get in into base contact with the Magician.
Yeah.
Mage. And then the other unit of Flesh Hounds also charged the fake swordsman or spearman. And got in. And that was it for the charges, and then the Blood Crushers will move up as well. End of Demons turn 3. The Bloodletters wiped out the Halberdier unit and got stuck in combat with the detachment here. But the remaining 8, including the Warrior Priest, fled over here through this combat, where the Bloodthirster killed off 6 or 7 of the unit, and the level 4...
No, level 2.
Level 2 mage. Level 2 mage as well. Over here, the Flesh Hounds killed off, I don't remember how many, 6 or something?
I think it was 8 or something.
8 or something. And won the combat, but they stayed because of Steadfast. So over to Empire turn 4.
Turn 4, I had one charge. The Archlector charged into the rear of the unit here. And the remaining moves, I didn't succeed the double ones for the Halberdiers, so they kept fleeing. Yes, head over to Magic and Shooting Phase. Phase for Empire, I managed to get the Enfambling Foe to his general. He suffered 2 to his strength. And I succeed to cast from my Warrior Priest, so they got off the reroll 2 wound. Yeah, that was it for the magic. And for shooting, I tried to shoot down this unit here. I managed to kill one of them and got down 1 wound to another. Yes, so off to close combat.
Close combat, Empire turn 4. The Bloodletters wiped the attachment. The Bloodthirster killed off 5 of the Halberdiers.
Great swordsman. I tried to reform.
The Steam Tank and Warrior Priest killed 4 of the Plague Bearers, but because of double ones for the leadership test, they all came back, and it still stands there. This unit, 3 hounds died, and
5
spearmen died as well.
I tried to reform this greatest swordsman so I can come into combat, but I failed the leadership test, so they stand there.
And then on to Demons turn 4. Demons, movement phase.
Shooting.
Bloodletters charged the Hellblaster, and the Blood Crushers moved up, and that's it. Kalanak also made an appearance, finally, in turn 4, and he entered the fray in the back here. Points of magic, nothing happened, nothing exciting on the table of Reign of Chaos either. Moving on to close combat. End of Demons turn 4. The Bloodletters wiped out the Hellblaster and overcharged into the Engineer. The Bloodthirster killed 4 or 5, and then the Great Swords reformed, so more of them can hit. In this combat, nothing happened at all, and the Flesh Hounds, whatever they are, killed off 9, but
You're steadfast.
Still for the Halberdiers.
The ranks.
Yeah.
For the ranks, I won rank.
And then moving on to Empire turn 5. Empire turn 5 movement phase. The Halberdiers kept on fleeing and ended up here. And then the Steam Tank had a misfire and ended up with 1 steam point, and that was it. So Empire magic and shooting phase.
Quite.
Miscasted Occam's Mind Racer, which was fantastic, but then rolled a 4 on the miscast table. Large template, every single model in the unit died. The wizard got 1 wound, but then also got sucked into the warp. So, not really worth it. The Bloodthirster also got 1 wound though, so a little bit worth it. And then the cannon tried to shoot the Bloodthirster, which was no longer in combat, but missed the grape shot, and nothing happened. Over to close combat. End of close combat, end of turn 5 for Empire actually. The Fleshhounds finally killed off the Spearmen. These are the only 2 remaining, the Warrior Priest and 1 guy fleeing, and they're pursuing. Nothing really happened in this combat, 1 wound on the Plague Bearers, and we go to Demons turn 5. Movement phase, swarmed the remaining Empire. The Bloodthirster into the Steam Tank's flank, as well as 1 set of Fleshhounds. The other Fleshhounds into the Warrior Priest's flank. The Blood Crushers into the rear, or the rear. Oh. And then Karanak on the other side, also into the flank. The Bloodletters into the remaining cannon. And we move on to Winds of Magic. Winds of Magic Demons rolled a 10, which means 1 better ward save, as if they needed it, the way this game is looking. Moving on to close combat. Close combat finished, Demons turn 5, cannon dead, the Warrior Priest died from a killing blow, the Steam Tank received 3 wounds.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing remaining from Empire now. Now it's gonna try and commit a suicide and blow everything up. Empire turn 6, failed suicide mission, and didn't score a single wound. These guys are still fleeing, and moving on to the last turn of the game. Not much to do in the Demons movement phase. The Herald charged out of the unit to be able to charge the Steam Tank, and then the Bloodthirster and the Hounds are going to try and kill it to completely wipe the pesky humans off the face of the earth. So Demons turn 6 and also end of the game. The Demons managed to do 1 more wound on the Steam Tank, dropping it below 50%, so down to 4 more wounds. 4 more wounds, actually 2 more wounds. That was also the end of the game. A grand victory for the Demons. They only lost 3 Blood Crushers and a couple of Hounds, and that's basically it. The main point of the game, I guess, is that the Demons came on the 2 flanks, which kinda caught Empire off guard, and they didn't manage to rally the troops and answer that double threat. And then the MVPs were the Plague Bearers popping up right next to the cannons, which held up both the Steam Tank and the Warrior Priest for at least 3 turns, allowing the rest of the Demons to pincer the Empire and completely wipe them out. Thank you for watching. Next game, we don't know what that's going to be, but please send us a message if you have anything that you want to see, and hopefully it will be a bit more even game.